All right, this is an overview video unboxing and how to use the IP4MPWA Wi-Fi camera by Avalonix. I'm going to take it out of the box and show you what's in there. So the first thing when you take it out of the box is this pamphlet. And then you have a mounting template. There is a bag of screws to mount the camera. This is the most important part. This is the power supply. That's to power the camera. If you're powering it over Wi-Fi, you need this 12-volt power supply. Please do not use anything else you have lying around. Use only this one, otherwise you're gonna end up damaging the camera. It comes with, I think it's 10 feet worth of cord. I'm not sure on that. I'll make sure to annotate it in the video here at this point. And then here is the camera. And it comes with a mounting bracket. So you take this camera, this is the camera. This is a IR light behind the casing that gives you night vision, and this is a motion sensor built into the camera. Status light, this is the microphone. Also, this camera has a microSD slot on the side, so you can put a microSD slot in there. Here's a picture of how it gets inserted. Make sure you're putting it the right way. Please check the specs for the maximum capacity it'll support. We suggest you buy the microSD card from us so we can load it on the camera, format it, and make sure it's inserted correctly, because if you break this mechanism, it will not be covered by any warranty. Ethernet jack. If you're configuring this professionally, you would first plug this into the Ethernet jack on your network to configure it through the web interface. Alarm inputs. This is where the power supply plugs in, reset button, and there is a mounting screw hole for this type of bracket. So let's screw this bracket in. I'm gonna unscrew it back a little and thread the camera. It is a clockwise turn to screw the camera on. And once it's that much in, you can keep on going and then tighten the nut so it stays there. Now this bracket allows you to mount it to a wall, ceiling, or put a tabletop. Once you decide which way you want it, just tighten this nut right here, and you're good. Okay. So now we have the camera sitting, and here's the power supply. I have my power strip close by for demo. So that's right here. If you're mounting the camera, make sure if we included this pamphlet, we wanted you to follow it. If we didn't, don't be worried. It's because we don't want you to follow it. But the pamphlet does show how to correctly mount the camera right there, just so you understand that. The takeaway from this video that should be is how to get the camera paired to your app. Now, the purpose of us making this video in the first half right now to this point is to show you how to basically mount the camera, how to power it, what to expect, what comes in the box. Sometimes we will purposely exclude this pamphlet because we don't want you to try and configure it with the iMu app. The iMu app is not the main method of connection, number one. Number two, we also do not want you to automatically reset the camera, because most of the time we will pre-configure the camera before we ship it to you so it works on your side on your network. So please do not reset the camera. The camera reset button is there. Only use that after checking with us if you should go ahead and proceed with resetting the camera. Otherwise, please leave that alone. So the second step is to connect the camera to your Wi-Fi. If you take a new camera out of the box, or if you've accidentally reset it, it's going to be in a default state where there's no username password, there's no IP address configuration. So what you're going to be doing is first powering on the camera, plug in the power supply into a power strip nearby, and connect the power supply that came with the camera into the back right here. There's an LED in the front that tells you the status of the camera. Right now it's red solid, or maybe red blinking soon. We're looking for the green blinking to start happening. While that's going on, I'm going to take my iPhone and open up the DMSS app. Now you can find the DMSS app in the App Store. I'm using an iPhone. Just search only for DMSS, hit that. So this is what the DMSS app looks like. The name, the developer info, install it. In my case, I've already installed it. Once you've installed the app, it may ask you some questions as to do you want to allow it permissions on the network. Make sure you allow everything, such as search, local network, Bluetooth, etc. Make sure you do that. Now, before I go on to the app, the other more important thing to mention is this is a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi camera. In the app and in the specs, it says you need to make sure you have a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi router that is not a 2.4 gigahertz / 5 gigahertz combo. So make sure you have a router that's basically emitting a Wi-Fi SSID that is dedicated to the 2.4 gigahertz band. Because if you don't have that and you have both 2.4 and 5.8 mixed together, the camera may not be able to connect. I'm going to go back to my app. Once you're at this screen in the app, I'm going to hit the plus icon and scan QR code. Now the camera is blinking green. I'm going to scan my QR code that's on the back of the camera. It fills in certain information, and it should as well on yours, and hit next. It says the camera is not connected. Well, yeah, of course, because it's new out of the box, not initialized, not connected to Wi-Fi, or maybe you reset it. So now hit select network config method and select soft AP. It's going to tell you that you can change this connection method on the top by clicking these three dots and changing it to switch to Wi-Fi or something else. In my case, I want to stay at where I am at, which was soft AP. Let's say you selected the wrong one. You want to go back. Three dots, switch to AP configuration. How did I do that? Three dots, switch to Wi-Fi, three dots, switch to AP. Make sure you selected the AP when you did this the first time, okay? Hit next. Asks you to join the Wi-Fi network being emitted from the camera. Hit join. Now all of this, the steps that I'm showing you, will only work if you're connecting this to the main Wi-Fi router on your network. If you don't do that, the camera will not connect properly. And secondly, you don't have a firewall or something else blocking the camera from talking to the cloud services. On my app, I already had the United States as the region set. I said, okay, got it. The username is admin. Leave that alone. Put in the password. You're creating a password at this point. I'm creating my password as a default password we like to use. And that is 10ILTXYH. Confirm that you type your password correctly. Remember it. Email, always a good idea to enter your email address in case you get locked out of the camera for some reason. And you're remote and not present at the camera to reset it. So it's a good idea to have the password option to be reset by email, and you can do that by putting in an email in here. I masked my email address. Make sure you put your email address correctly. Hit done. Email is optional. Hit next. Now what it's doing is it's actually talking to the camera and configuring it. Do you want to allow cloud access and auto check? Make sure you enable these. You check them. They're blue checked. Leave them alone. Blue checked. Hit OK. Now it says initialize successfully. That means it spoke to the camera and got the camera to set a username and password. We did one part of setting up the camera to work with the app. The second part is connecting it to your Wi-Fi. It says here, green check mark, 2.4 gigahertz. Red, X, 5G. 5G won't work. Please make sure you connect to a Wi-Fi signal that's close to you and strong. So I'm going to connect it to my Wi-Fi. Put in your Wi-Fi password. I've already done this process before, so my Wi-Fi password is pre-filled. Make sure you type in your Wi-Fi. It says here 5G Wi-Fi from dual band routers is not supported. So if you've got two bands on one SSID, it may not work. Hit next after you put in your Wi-Fi password. It says add device, connecting to the router, doing a countdown from 90 seconds. I'm going to look at the camera. It's giving me a solid green light. That means the camera is operating properly. It's connected to your Wi-Fi. I'm going to let the app do its thing. So what it's doing right now is the phone is using the app to connect through the internet, to connect to cloud services, and then connect back into the camera. That's what's going on right now. I'm going to let this countdown complete. Even if it fails, it's okay. I know I've got something done because the camera has a green solid light. That means the camera is connected to Wi-Fi and it's been initialized. All right, it said nothing and just came to this menu, it says add device and name. I'm going to name my camera, my cam. Name it whatever you want. Hit save. And it says add device, big green check mark. That's what I want to see. UPnP, make sure it's enabled. Hit OK. And my camera is working now. I can see my hand waving in front of it. There you go. Camera is working. So now I'll show you how to use this app if you want to know. Very quick overview. If you're in the camera, you can press this button to talk. Now when I do it, you're going to hear a lot of maybe an audio feedback happening. So I apologize for that in advance. So if you have the speakers turned up, you may want to turn them down a little. Hello. Hello. So I'm snapping my fingers here and it's speaking out of there. And I can hear the mic from here, outputting here. So I got two-way audio happening. And now, if I go back to the app, my camera's already listed there. So this is what you should have in the end result. Go on your phone, find the app, go to DMSS, hit your camera. If you got everything connected wirelessly, you should be able to see the camera feed and press talk with channel and do two-way talk. All right, that's pretty much it. You've got audio and video connection there. Now, if you're using this to monitor a loved one or just looking at employees, great camera to use for that purpose. The camera is all configured. As you can see, there are no wires attached except for the power supply. Please make sure you use only the power supply that comes with the camera. I believe this is 10 feet long. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact us. Hopefully you found this video useful. Thank you for watching.
If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.